In this video today, I'm going to tell you and show you around the 4 most expensive neighborhoods in Minneapolis. Stay tuned. We're going to get right into it. My name is Lisa Wichmann, and I'm with the Wichmann Real Estate Group here in the Minneapolis, St. Paul area, Twin Cities, Minnesota. And today, like I said, I'm going to show you around the 4 most expensive neighborhoods in Minneapolis. Behind me, you can see the Minneapolis skyline. That's one of the reasons why people live here, is it's so convenient. It's just so convenient. And it's convenient to downtown, it's convenient to uptown, freeways, etc. So I am going to show you on the map where these neighborhoods are. The 4 neighborhoods that we are talking about today are the Lowry Hill neighborhood, East Isles, which is East Lake of the Isles, the Kenwood neighborhood, and Cedar Isles Dean. So I want to tell you about the boundaries of these 4 neighborhoods. These 4 neighborhoods on the north side are bordered on 394. To the east is Hennepin Avenue. To the west is France Avenue, which is on the edge of St. Louis Park. And to the south, Lake Street in the Cedar Isles Dean area. And the Kenwood Parkway. So the homes in these neighborhoods start at about $1 million. On the high end, what's currently on the market is $4.5 million. And that is in the Cedar Isles Dean neighborhood. And although the borders of these neighborhoods, east to west, north to south, is only literally a mile and a half, it's a very compact area. What these neighborhoods have in common is, number one, they're all around the lakes. They're around Cedar Lake and Lake of the Isles, with the exception of the Lowry Hill neighborhood, which is what I'm in now. And it is just convenient to both downtown, uptown, everywhere in the Twin Cities. There is so much green space between the lakes and the parks. You can see where behind me. I'm gonna be going down there and show you what this neighborhood has. But one of the things I'm going to do in this video is I'm actually going to take you through the neighborhoods and show you some of the things that I know about. Now, if you've been watching my videos, you know that I actually was born and raised in the city of Minneapolis. I know these neighborhoods so well. I have walked these neighborhoods. I've had friends in these neighborhoods. I want to show you something here. We're going to turn around. Look at just some of the homes. They're gorgeous. And look at, so I'm on Groveland Terrace right now and Bryant's. There's so much activity, as you can see. There's so many people around. You know, people walking, people running. I just was chatting with this gentleman behind me who's teaching his daughter how to ride a bike. But anyway, back to why do people choose to live in this neighborhood? Number one, the homes. The homes are stunning. Most of them turn of the century, huge estates. People live here because of the convenience to downtown Minneapolis, to uptown, to really anywhere that you want to get to. It's just very convenient. And walkability. So you can go anywhere. If you want a cafe, a coffee shop, a bar, entertainment, you want to go walk around the lakes, you want to go see, I'm going to show you, I'm headed towards a museum and the sculpture garden, which are huge attractions to the Twin Cities. So I'm going to show you some more. I'm standing at the intersection of Hennepin Avenue and Oak Grove Street, right on the edge of Lowry Hill neighborhood. And behind me is the Walker Art Center. Beautiful place. You can't see it, but behind this traffic is a huge park called Lowry Park. It has a pond, it has ice skating in the winter, it has lots of trails and so forth. And I want to get away from the noise. But this is kind of a huge major intersection that separates uptown from downtown. And that's Hennepin Avenue, which is the main drag going through downtown Minneapolis and then heading north and south. So across the street from the Walker Art Center is the Minneapolis Sculpture Garden. It is an 11-acre park. It is absolutely stunning. Here are some photos of some of the sculptures in there. This is just a great place to come and hang out, relax. It is absolutely a tourist attraction in Minneapolis. It's a lovely place to just hang out. One thing about Minnesotans, we love being outdoors. We're also one of the healthiest communities in the whole country, but we love being outdoors, and that's why we have so much green space. That's why one of the reasons why our taxes are so high is because everything is beautiful and everything is taken care of. One of the things I hear all the time when people are moving here or they're visiting here is like how clean it is. We care about this stuff. A lot of what these neighborhoods have in common, walkability. You want to go for a walk around the lake. You want to come and go to a museum. You want to go to a restaurant. You want to go for a walk. You eat whatever you want to do. So this is a little bit more of where I was just at, where the Walker Art Center was, where the Sculpture Garden was across the street. But even in addition to that, this is one of the many reasons why this is just an awesome area for the Twin Cities in general. But behind me, they have bands here, they have soccer games here, and there's just a lot of things to do. And in addition to that, I am in front of Lake School, which is actually an excellent school. It is a private school. It is incredibly expensive, but we are in a neighborhood where it is very affluent people. You have a lot of professionals, and they are looking for the best of the best. So pre-kindergarten tuition here is $20,000 a year. And grade school through high school is $40,000 a year. So if you want the best education for your children, you might send them here if you're gonna live anywhere in this neighborhood. And wouldn't you just know it, when I'm standing in front of the school here, what comes by but an ice cream truck? Something you don't see every day. Looking for kiddos. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you are interested in finding more out about specific neighborhoods in Minneapolis and just things you should know if you're considering making a move. I'm in the East Isles neighborhood, and I just kind of want to give you an idea of, you can kind of see some of the homes behind me. One of the things about this neighborhood and why people love it is I'm standing on 27th and Irving. One block to the west is Lake of the Isles. 2 blocks to the east is Hennepin Avenue. So no matter where you are in this neighborhood, you are super close to the hustle and bustle and super close to really quiet and serene. One of the things about Lake of the Isles is that it's about 2.6 miles around. People walk around it all the time. There are 2 islands in Lake of the Isles, and they are just, for looks, they are not to go on. These lakes in the cities, there are no motorized boats allowed. So people here are, in some cases on the lakes, and Cedar Lake, we'll talk about, you can swim. You can't swim, there's no swimming on Lake of the Isles, but people are paddle boarding, they're canoeing, they are fishing, and in the winter, ice skating, cross-country skiing. They have a really cool event in February every year called the Loppet Luminary, where they have trails all through Lake of the Isles and thousands of luminaries. So it's an amazing event. It's put on by the Loppet Foundation, which is actually in North Minneapolis and really encourages outdoor activities of all kinds. Like I mentioned, Lake of the Isles is about just over 2.5 miles around, but there is an individual bike path, there's an individual walking path, and you'll see all kinds of things on wheels on these, on the water here. It is right behind me. One of the problems with the lakes, goose poop. In this neighborhood, you're going to find a lot of condominiums and apartment buildings, fourplexes, a lot of brick buildings. You will find Tudors, Queen Anne homes. It's just such a variety. And the thing that's cool about it is that everything's different. Every home is different. And there are some really, really large homes, and there are some not so large homes. I'm actually on the corner of 28th Street and Hennepin Avenue in the East Isles neighborhood. And as you can see, it's a mess. A mess of construction. I can't go down to Uptown. We're literally on the edge of Uptown. And then behind me is downtown. You can't see that. But if you look this direction, or what you have here is you have a library, you have the YWCA, you have Uptown Hennepin and Lake, but unfortunately this summer, no access. Can't get through there. This office building behind me on the corner of 28th and Hennepin, I worked here in the 90s as a rental consultant. I actually matched renters with properties. It's one of the reasons you need to call us. I looked at the map. I knew every apartment building in the city. I know these streets by name. I know a lot about this neighborhood. Minneapolis in general. One of the things that's cool about these neighborhoods is you have all walks of life. Behind me is a 55+ community. Isle Bun and Coffee opened when I worked here in the 90s, and I wish they were open right now. They serve the most delectable cinnamon rolls and caramel rolls. They've expanded their space. I mean, they've been open now 90s, a long time. If you're here, if you're in this neighborhood, you have to stop here. The reason I wanted to show you where we were in Hennepin and Lake is because I want you to see that it's walkable. So many neighborhoods, all of these neighborhoods, these 4 neighborhoods are very, very walkable. Like I said, coffee shop, cinnamon roll, and behind me, you know, we're like 3 blocks from the lake. You can't go wrong in this neighborhood. You just can't. So let's head on over to the most expensive house in the neighborhood. Behind me is the most expensive listing on the market today in the East Isles neighborhood. So this is a 4-bedroom, 8-bath, 6-car garage across the street from East Lake of the Isles Parkway. It is $3.5 million. I looked up the taxes. The taxes on this are $51,000. If you want to live across the street from Lake of the Isles or across from Cedar Lake, you're going to pay at least $2 million to be on the water. And as we've kind of seen, the most expensive in any of these given neighborhoods, you know, you're upwards of close to $5 million. Depends on what your budget is. We're gonna head on over to the Kenwood neighborhood. I'm gonna keep making these videos. If you do like what you see, please subscribe to the channel and you'll get notified whenever we release a new video. And if you're enjoying it, click the like button and let me know if you need anything. I'm in the Kenwood neighborhood right now. I am on West Lake of the Isles Parkway. There are some beautiful homes behind me. Let's see if we can get some of these homes in there. And of course behind me is the lake. Kenwood is the quietest of these neighborhoods. There's not a lot of commercial space here. It's more families, it's young professionals, seniors. There are less condos and apartments in this neighborhood. It's mostly single family homes. So the borders of the Kenwood neighborhood, to the west is Cedar Lake, to the east is West Lake of the Isles Parkway, to the south is Kenilworth, and to the north just south of 394 where the railroad tracks are. One of the things about all of these neighborhoods is that each one of them has their own association, and very active, very neighborhood oriented. If you want to be in a neighborhood where you want to participate, get to know your neighbors, get involved in politics, whatever it is, this might be a good place for you. You can see some of these homes, a lot of brick homes. Ooh, beautiful. One of the things I also wanted to tell you about is in each of these 4 neighborhoods right now, there's only about 10 houses on the market in each of these neighborhoods. So in this entire area, for single family homes, I'm talking, not condos, there are only about 40, which is another reason why you need to give us a call. And one of the reasons why, if you are moving here, you need to be prepared, because it's still a seller's market here. Now, it is August 2024, still a seller's market, still multiple offers going on, and it really doesn't matter the price range. That's what's going on. And one of the things about the Kenwood neighborhood that's different than East Isles or Lowry Hill. Lowry Hill and East Isles have Hennepin Avenue running down their border, which is very busy, a lot of activity. Here in the Kenwood neighborhood, you're going to find it's much quieter, it's more residential. There is a little area I'm going to show you where there's a nice little restaurant called the Kenwood in a little bit, but it's just a quieter neighborhood. You can probably tell from the background noise. I'm across the street from a little strip. I'm actually on the corner of 21st and Penn Avenue in Kenwood, and behind me is Kenwood Elementary. So if you are going to be living in one of these neighborhoods and you have little kiddos, you might be sending them to this school. The school is known for its arts, academics, and rigor. Nothing like walking to your kids to school. Right beyond the school is Kenwood Park. It has tennis courts, it has a playground, it has some ball fields. It's a very big park. So behind me, just a couple blocks, is Lake of the Isles. Again, I'm on the corner of 21st and Penn, and behind me there's just a few shops. The Kenwood, an excellent restaurant, Italian restaurant. Just a neighborhood joint. There's not a lot going on here as far as businesses in Kenwood. That's more Lowry Hill, like I said, more East Calhoun, and not East Calhoun. That's more Lowry Hill and East Isles. Here, it's quiet, it's family. You know, there's some kids playing ball behind me. There's some kids on the playground. Quiet neighborhood. I am actually on the west side of Lake of the Isles. I was on the east side of the Lake of the Isles. This lake takes about maybe an hour and a half to walk around. It's only a few miles. I don't even think it's 3 miles. But what I want to show you, I'm across the street from the most expensive house in Minneapolis right now, is about $4.6 million. Here is the view from the home. The home is behind me. You can see again, we're at the lake. I think you can see like the canoes are there. But here is the house. Here's the house behind me. And I don't think I could tell you about the Kenwood neighborhood without talking about probably the most famous house due to television is the Mary Tyler Moore house. Isn't it beautiful? And now we're going to head over to the Cedar Isles Dean neighborhood. So I am in the Cedar Isles Dean neighborhood. I'm actually on Dean Parkway. Behind me, that way, is Lake Street, and across the street is Batamakaska, another lake. That lake actually goes under a bridge into Lake of the Isles. One of the things I haven't really mentioned, but I really wanted to get across, is a lot of these neighborhoods have condominiums. If you look behind me, there are some condominiums, again, on Dean Parkway, and you can actually get into some condos for under $300,000. Probably the most expensive is around $800,000, but in this neighborhood, but it just depends. So within all of these neighborhoods, again, except for Kenwood, you can get into condos. You can pay well over $1 million for condos as well, but they are available. But I'm at a place in the Parkway. I'm at this intersection. As I said, it encompasses both part of Lake of the Isles and Cedar Lake. So you come to this intersection here behind me and you go left and you can go to Cedar Lake. You go right, you go to the Lake of the Isles. So let's take a look at some of these beautiful homes. So I'm at Cedar Lake in the Cedar Isles Dean neighborhood. This is actually a beach that I used to bring my children to. Even though we didn't live in Minneapolis, we lived in the suburbs. But this is a great beach. You can see, even though it's almost 7 o'clock on a Sunday night, the beach is busy with families and everybody just having a good old time. Cedar Lake is the only lake in Minneapolis where there are actually homes on the lake. The rest of them in the different neighborhoods are actually across the street from the Parkway. But here there are a handful of properties right on the lake. The other thing is there are actually swimming beaches here at Cedar Lake. The one I was just showing you, which is probably the main beach. There are a couple other spots. There's also a hidden beach that you have to walk through the woods to get to. It's kind of it's not really private. People, well, I used to go there in my 20s. It's probably busier than it was way back then, but it is more of a private, secluded beach and you got to trek through some woods. So anyway, this is, again, it's one of the great things about Minneapolis. One of the things I haven't mentioned yet about Lake of the Isles is there's actually 2 islands within Lake of the Isles. Now, these aren't walking. People don't get off and walk on the islands or anything. One of the things about the Cedar Isles Dean, since it is further west and the homes were initially built closer to the inner city and then moving outwards. So some of the houses, as you get closer to France Avenue and St. Louis Park, they might be a little bit newer. And I don't mean new, but they might not be from the early 1900s. They might be from the 20s, 30s, and so forth. So I'm walking along West Lake of the Isles Parkway right now. I am in the Cedar Isles Dean neighborhood of Minneapolis. And across the street from me, I need to try to get a better view, but I'm gonna do this. I'll get on the other side of the street, but behind me is the most expensive home in the neighborhood at $3.5 million. It's about 8,100 square feet. It's about 8,000 square feet. It's a beauty. All these 4 neighborhoods offer something different, something unique. One of the reasons why you need to give us a call. I know these neighborhoods. I would love the opportunity to show you some of the coolness of Minneapolis. I hope you enjoyed this video.